Good morning, everyone. I'm here at Caribou Coffee in Denver, Colorado. I got my Caribou Coffee right here. And I don't know if you know this, but they launched 2 new breakfast sandwiches last week. So I like to say move over Starbucks, make room for Caribou Coffee, because Starbucks discontinued their gluten-free breakfast sandwich and Caribou Coffee just introduced 2 new breakfast sandwiches. So I am here testing it with my Nima Sensor. You guys know me so well. This is a portable gluten detecting device, and it will help me find out if a portion of my food has gluten. I'm going to put a little piece of my food in the gluten detecting device in this Nima Sensor, and we're going to check if these new breakfast sandwiches are truly gluten-free. So if you want a Nima Sensor of your own, don't forget I have a very cool coupon code. It's called Good For You GF, and you'll get $25 off your Nima Sensor starter kit, and you can get that on by looking at the post. I wrote down the link and the coupon code. So this test is sponsored by Nima Sensor, but you guys know I love the Nima Sensor. I use it as much as I can to test new food for gluten, and I always like to say let Nima take the first bite. So that's what we're gonna do. So here's my Nima Sensor capsule, a fresh capsule. And this is, this was the new vegan sandwich, but this is the one I'm gonna test right now. It's the chicken, egg, and Muenster. And can you see how it comes wrapped like this? And it's actually been heated up. So this bag was put into an oven that might contain gluten, but the whole sandwich is contained in this bag so that the sandwich is not contaminated. So when I open it up, I just wanna be careful maybe to either wash my hands or not touch the sandwich if I'm touching the outside of the wrapper, but this is what the sandwich looks like inside. Here it is. You see it? It's actually a really beautiful sandwich. So let me just get a napkin because I want to keep my hands clean. And I'm going to actually test it with a clean knife, and I'm going to take a portion of it and put it in my Nima test capsule right here. So let's take a little bit of this English muffin off the bottom. Can you see? I know I'm just gonna take a little piece of the English muffin off the bottom, and I'm gonna scoop it up. I'm gonna scoop it into my Nima device right there. I like to scrape a little bit of the seed in there just from the top, and then I'm gonna test a little piece of the egg to see how that was cooked. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about this breakfast sandwich and how it was prepared as soon as I get this test going. What else is in here? Oh, the chorizo, the chicken chorizo. Okay, let's see if I can get a piece of the chorizo. Let's get a little piece of the... Oh, am I saying it wrong? Chorizo. Can people hear me, by the way? I'm using my new microphone again. If you can't hear me, just leave a comment. My husband's behind the camera, and he's gonna let me know. I'm having a little trouble getting a little piece of the chorizo without destroying the sandwich. Wait, how do I say it? Chorizo?
Chorizo.
Chorizo. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Okay, I got some egg, but I lost a little piece of the bread, so I'm gonna put the bread back in. Let's get a clean fork. That's gonna go so much easier. Guys, I'm usually not this crazy trying to get a little piece of food in. Okay, so I got a little bit of everything in there. You see? Now I'm gonna smush it in. There's claws here. Smush it in. I'm gonna make sure that the green seal is no longer showing. You kind of hear a little crack. Oh, I'm having a little trouble. There we go, got it. You just wanna make sure it's all lined up and the seal's been broken. And then I'm gonna put it in my Nima Sensor. The chorizo sandwich is now being tested. So look at that. There was a new software upgrade, and now it says testing for gluten. So it's actually telling me that's testing for gluten. And I'm hoping I just didn't put in too much stuff. I was trying to get a little bit of everything to test. But that is how you would put the food in it. And can you guys see the sandwich? Okay, so a little bit more about the sandwich. This is the chicken chorizo. It has an egg, and it has provolone cheese. Can you guys hear that? And it also has this English muffin here on top. And then this sandwich is actually vegetarian. It's got egg and looks like it's got some kind of, what is that? Some kind of, oh, I know what that is, spinach artichoke. That's what it's called, the spinach artichoke sandwich. So it's got some kind of spinach artichoke, and it looks like Munster cheese in here. And so here you can see this one has chicken chorizo. I'm gonna say it right one day, and then there is cheese on the bottom. So this one is meat, and this one would be vegetarian. So when I just came in, I just asked them for the new breakfast sandwiches. I said, how do you guys prepare it? and they said it's going to come in a bag, heated, but the bag will not be opened at all. And I also learned that these sandwiches were prepared in a dedicated gluten-free facility off-site. So they're not prepared in store where they could get contaminated with other sandwiches. They're, prepared completely gluten-free. So that is really exciting news to hear. And before I went live on Facebook, just to make this go a little faster, because I know it can take a while, it can take a couple minutes for the test to come through, I already tested the vegetarian sandwich with the Nima Sensor. Here's my used capsule. I already tested it, and I got a smiley face. So that means it's gluten-free. And if it would have come back with the sign gluten found, it would mean that it has gluten in it. So Nima Sensor is really, really sensitive. It will detect gluten below even the government standard of 20 parts per million. The FDA says that you can call something gluten-free even if it has up to 20 parts per million of gluten in it. But Nima is more sensitive than that. It's going to detect any gluten, and it's got some pretty good stats that you can look at on their website to see how accurate this Nima Sensor is. So I hope you go check it out. But I like to know that there's no gluten in my food. I have celiac disease. I don't have any room for gluten in my diet. And I hope that if you are gluten sensitive or celiac disease, that you get one of these Nima Sensors, because it's really important that we're holding restaurants accountable to really having gluten-free food if they're offering gluten-free on their menu. All right. So a little bit about Caribou, what I learned is, I have my notes here, sorry guys. They have 300 company-owned locations, and they're in 22 states. So chances are that there is a Caribou Coffee near you, or when you're traveling, you'll probably see them. But something to note is that the sandwiches are only in standalone Caribous, not in Caribous that are inside Einstein bagels, which makes sense because Einstein bagels is full of gluten. So if the Caribou Coffee is inside the Einsteins, they probably don't have the breakfast sandwiches. Maybe just call before you go. I called and the guy answered the phone and said, yeah, of course we have the sandwiches. Every location should have them. And not only are they in 22 states, but they're in 11 countries, and they have 274 international locations. So if you're traveling in Europe and wherever, you'll probably find a Caribou Coffee, and they should have the breakfast sandwiches there as well. All right, so how are we doing on our test? Oh, it's so close. I wonder if you should keep the camera right here, and maybe we'll see exactly when it turns over to the message that either it has gluten or that it's a smiley face. It's always kind of fun to see when it flashes. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. I can answer it if I'm still live, or I always come back in and answer questions about the Nima Sensor, about gluten-free living. Really helping this community is my mission, and if you go to goodforyouglutenfree.com, you'll see that I write about gluten-free living and really providing information, tools, and advocacy that you need to live a really healthy gluten-free life. Nima is one of my partners. They've been a great partner to work with because it allows me to continue my advocacy work and really work hard to figure out what restaurants are truly offering gluten-free foods and which are not. I will say with the sandwich, knowing that it went in the oven and it touched gluten, you really do want to make sure you keep your hands really clean. And I actually don't even want to put the sandwich on the plate because I know that the plate has touched the bottom of the bag, and the bottom of the bag has touched the oven. And so you do have to be a little tricky, or maybe ask for a clean plate or use a napkin. How are we doing here? Oh, it looks like it's so close. Sometimes when it goes a little longer, it could mean there's an error, which I did a little bit. I might have stuffed it a little too much, so let's hope that we don't get an error message. If by chance it does have an error message, I'll test it again. I won't make you guys stay live with me. I'll just test it again and post the results in the comments. So don't worry, because this is taking a little longer. My first test, yeah, see, I got an error, didn't I? Oh, I could have overstuffed it. My first test went so fast, and I knew that it was going to have an accurate response. So I'm going to test this chorizo sandwich. Chorizo? I'll get it right one of these days. I'm going to test the chorizo sandwich. One thing you should note is if you do get an error message, Nima sends you an email with a free capsule, so I can go redeem a free capsule. So I didn't lose any money on this deal. I'm gonna get a free capsule because I had an error, and I can see like it looks like it didn't even so this one you can see like there was a test result and this one didn't, so something didn't quite click with this capsule. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm gonna just use a new capsule and test it again. But like I said, I'm gonna probably have an email waiting for me that says, oh, we saw you had an error, we're gonna send you a free one. So I'm gonna post the results. I don't want to lose you, because this vegetarian gluten-free breakfast sandwich came back with a smiley face. It is gluten-free, and I tested it, and I really do have a lot of confidence here at Caribou. I feel good about eating here. All right, guys, so that's all I have for now. I'm gonna go do the test and post it in a couple minutes, so stay with me. And if you have any questions about the Nima Sensor, about the sandwich, about anything gluten-free, leave me a comment. I definitely love hearing from you, and I like to know that you're watching this, and I'll do more if you're watching, all right? Thank you so much. That's all I got for now.